very precariously balanced. Hey guys, I may have made some little purchases. I'm just gonna show you some niche fragrances that I've hauled recently, and I've actually purchased this within the span of, I would say, a couple of months, and because they be expensive. Alright, I have with me 4 that I think you guys will be interested in as well. So we're gonna start with the infamous Creed, and this is my first Creed fragrance, and I know what y'all gonna say. I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all are probably gonna be shaking your head and be like, oh, I can't believe she picked that out of the entire Creed line. But you know what? I can't help it. I really love it. It's Creed Aventus For Her. Yeah, I got this. I tried to fight it, guys. I really did. And when I smelt the entire Creed line, I wasn't really blown away by a lot of them until I smelt Aventus For Her. And I know that this has an incredible hater fan base, I guess. A lot of people hate it. Even in Fragrantica, the dislike bar is like way more than like the love and the like, which, you know, to each their own. And to be honest, I would never have tried this one out if there wasn't such a big hype on the Aventus fragrance, which, by the way, I think smells amazing on a guy, and I would want to wear it too, but I just feel that it's, with my body chemistry, it's a little bit too masculine. So I tried this on a whim, just like sprayed it on myself, and good lord, damn, it's freaking beautiful, man. I did not want to fall for this, but I did. So this has a really fruity quality. So imagine Aventus, which I'm pretty sure y'all know how it smells like. So imagine like the fruitiest batch of Aventus, and then you take that pineapple out and you swap it out for like a green apple. So it starts off with this really sweet kind of sour tart juiciness, and at the back there is this classic kind of Creed ambergris that you will 100% recognize. It's light without being, you know, a nothing kind of scent. And I also love the woodiness of this fragrance. It's so good. I didn't think that it would last that long on me, but let me tell you, it lasts like, oh my god, like 10 hours on me. Granted, I do live in the tropics, so I guess my body does heat up quite a bit, but it works amazing in the heat, and the projection as well is outstanding. This is one of the fragrances that actually gets a reaction and people actually smell me. So this one retails for $320 for the 75 ml here in Singapore, and I managed to get it at a discount because there was like an event with the particular store that I bought it from. One gripe though, I just want to let this out, but like, I just don't get why this is a sticker, because it's so expensive. I just wish that this was an actual plate. And my issue is that the sticker bit actually comes off a lot. I don't know if this happens to you guys, because I mean, this is my first Creed fragrance, so I don't really know if this is what usually happens. So let me know if you guys have this issue as well. But it tends to peel off and just like flap around, and I have to constantly stick it back down. And I'm like, for something this expensive, that shouldn't be the case. Packaging is secondary to the scent. Still though, $320, I expect the packaging to be on point. So number 2 is a brand that you might not have heard of. Well, at least for me, this is a brand new brand to me, and it just recently came to Singapore. And this brand is called Amouroud. And the fragrance that I got is Oud Du Jour. Oh my god, this bottle is so heavy and so beautiful. So it has this plate and then at the top it has the insignia of the Perfumers Workshop. Holy shit! So at the top we have the insignia of the Perfumers Workshop, and this is actually a brand from the United States. It's a niche brand from the Perfumers Workshop, which they're famous for this fragrance called Tea Rose, which is actually quite an affordable scent that has been around for about 40 years. And recently they launched Amouroud, which is the niche side of like their kind of company, and the whole theme clearly is about oud. And I actually went for kind of like their opening and all that kind of stuff, so I managed to get samples for I think 6 of their fragrances. So do let me know if you guys want me to kind of do a house review. But out of the rest, like out of everything that I've smelled, Oud Du Jour is just my favorite. It's a daytime oud, as the name would suggest. It kind of gives me the same vibe of like Aventus For Her mixed with Oud Wood. So try to picture that, and you will get basically what this whole thing is about. So it takes kind of like the smokiness, the pungent, animalistic vibe of oud, and injects a kind of ethereal transparency, makes it incredibly wearable for daytime, while still kind of maintaining that smokiness as well. So it's really quite an amazing scent. It also has incense, and I can definitely detect it. So the oud doesn't have that kind of like really animalic, pungent kind of scent, but it still has the punch that an oud fragrance would have. And this is really, really, really strong. It definitely projects, and it lasts like a solid 8 hours, projecting for maybe like 3 hours, if not more. And I would say that this is very unisex as well. Actually, I find Aventus For Her quite unisex as well. Don't let the For Her deter you from trying it out, because if you like the fruity batches of Aventus, this might be up your alley. If you want something that's a little bit more grounded, but with the same kind of wearable oud genre that Oud Wood has, y'all should definitely check out Oud Du Jour by Amouroud. So good. And this retails for $300 for the 100 ml, and it only comes in one size, but you get what I mean. Like, this is a beautiful bottle. Look at that. It's plated. It's apparently hand polished and stuff. I don't know how true that is, but it feels really weighty and luxurious, whereas I just feel that the sticker bit on the creates are not, they don't feel as luxurious to me, and they're more expensive than the Amouroud. So definitely one to check out. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Number 3 is one of my favorite houses ever. I think you guys know what it is because I always talk about this house, but it's Etat Libre d'Orange, and this time I added Putain de Palace, which I think is a bad word in French, but I mean, it says here on the tin, and they're known for really controversial names and like scents, which I think is something different, and it's something cheeky and fun, and we should celebrate it. So Putain de Palace is easily my favorite scent that I've picked up amongst all these other scents that I'm talking about, and probably one of my favorite scents of 2017. It is so me. So it has that really boudoir vibe, so it's really powdery. It's very, very ultra feminine in my opinion. It's super feminine, but with the powderiness at the back, there's this like animalic leather scent that just adds such an interesting touch to an uber feminine fragrance. And I am obsessed with this scent because It projects and it really lasts, and it has, you know, depth and character, but it's never overwhelming. It does not like fill a whole room. It's just so sexy. It just wafts like in and out, and you just catch whiffs of it. And it's really intriguing because it's powdery and sweet, but then there's this really interesting animalic overtone, which I'm guessing is from the leather, that really intrigues you and makes you want to smell it even more. So I can just sniff this forever, honestly, because it's so good. Slightly sour but sweet at the same time, definitely powdery, and definitely you can definitely sense that animalic touch to it. And I know that the name is quite controversial, but it does play to that scene quite perfectly in my opinion, and this is one of my favorite fragrances from the entire Etat Libre d'Orange range. So if you like powdery scents, if you like something with that boudoir vintage sort of vibe, but you want something that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more cheeky and daring, definitely try this out. This is by no means unwearable. In fact, I think this is one of the most wearable scents in the line. I wear this to work and it's still fine. It's just sweet, powdery, but with that, you know, little pizzazz just sprinkled in there. This is one of my favorite fragrances ever. So my final fragrance that I'm gonna talk about is from the house of Serge Lutens, and it is none other than Santal Majuscule. I just love the Serge Lutens bottles. It is possibly one of my favorite bottle designs ever. It's so chic and simplistic. It's really easy to travel with as well, and it looks just fantastic. Unfortunately for me, Serge Lutens fragrances, they don't really mesh well with my chemistry for some reason, and they always end up smelling a little off or like rancid on me. I have one of their fragrances, which is Amouroud Vanille, which is a beautiful molten, like hot vanilla scent. It's so strong and potent, and it also has this like coconut note that makes it really ultra creamy, and I love it when I smell it from the bottle, and I keep trying to wear it, but it just smells really off on me for some reason, and I have not kind of explored the brand because of that. The ones that I've tried, they just didn't work out on my skin until I sprayed this one. So I sprayed this because on the cart it was just beyond beautiful. Oh gosh, it's so good. It's like a dry, this is like a dry rose cocoa scent. It has sandalwood as well, and it was absolutely beautiful when I sprayed it on the cart. I'm happy to report that this actually meshes with my skin chemistry quite well. This is a beautiful oriental kind of rose fragrance that is not sweet or jammy at all. I know I mentioned cocoa and I mentioned rose, and you think maybe, oh, it's gonna be like a sweet rose. It's actually more powdery than sweet. It's a really powdery kind of rose with a dry sweetness from the cocoa. And what I get the most is the rose and the cocoa on my skin. The sandalwood comes out more as it dries down. It's a really creamy sandalwood that is slightly pungent but not overly sour, if you know what I mean. But I definitely get those three notes very distinctly, and it just meshes so well together for some reason. Like, who would think that cocoa and chocolate and sandalwood would be this amazing? To me, this smells like you're in an attic, and then you're just rummaging through your old stuff, and then you kind of stumble upon this treasure box, this wooden treasure box, and when you open it up, it has that kind of like old vintagey smell, but there's also like dried rose petals inside it. That's what I get with this. And I know that does not sound very appealing, but it's a lot better than you think. It gives me this old treasure box full of dried flowers kind of vibe, and it actually smells quite magical. It's very mysterious and romantic, but also old worldy and kind of wise at the same time. It's hot where I live all year round, but this still works well in hotter weather because of that dry aspect to it. It's just really great. I am pleasantly surprised. This is one of my favorite fragrances from the Serge Lutens range. That completes my haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know if you guys want to see the designer version. I do have a couple of designer fragrances that I've picked up as well, and I would love to share it with you guys. If you guys want me to do a house review on Amouroud, let me know about that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!